So today we'll be continuing with the roadmap, and this is part 2. So in this one I'll be explaining about one of the most common questions which have come up during this prop and asked by the by the validators as well as the community right now, that why is this a USTC Repeg plan? That why is it not simply a trading bot or trading algo, and what does it have to do with this prop 11859? So in this one I'll be explaining about this and that how is it actually useful for USTC or any other stable coin if you are planning to deploy one on the system, and whether it is Lunk or it is Luna or it is some other blockchain, it doesn't really matter, because I have concentrated on building the logic of the algorithm, and whatever it is used for, it can be used for, and there is no limitation to what it can be used for in general once you understand this video. So this is extremely important to understand, that why have I actually written this in the way that I've written it. Obviously, as you can understand, that this is not a simple trading bot like how you get on Qcoin or Binance. Like over there you can just go there and you can do grid trading over there using a trading bot, like how I've explained once in one of my threads. So but this is not a grid trading bot at all. It has nothing to do with the kind of trading that those people are doing, because you're not exactly trying to achieve profits all the time. So you'll understand that what we are trying to achieve in HODLR once you understand this aspect of it, which is stability. And stability is obviously a very important concept in Terra Luna, because Terra itself has 22 stable coins and not just USTC. So we have 22 stable coins that we need to repeg. So it's not just about USTC, and this prop is also not just about USTC, because that would be like looking at it from a very closed point of view. Because if we have to open our point of view, then we have to look at 22 coins and not just one, because all of them were depegged in the depeg event, and the developers on Terra and Luna both have been trying to restore that original algorithm which actually caused the depeg. Now the thing is that I am not concentrating on that. That is not my concern, since I am not dealing with that aspect right now. And the way that I have approached the USTC Repeg is the way that I'll explain right now, and which is something that I have been explaining from the first video, in fact, and in the last couple of videos it must have been clear that what we are trying to achieve. What we are trying to achieve is not profits. Profits is definitely not what we are trying to achieve. So we should definitely not concentrate on either profit or loss, because both of these are not the correct way of representing this HODLR algo. So whoever is essentially saying right now in the community that this is what we are trying to achieve is probably has misinformation about it, and which is why I'm making a separate video on this topic just to explain that what it is, so that the concept is completely clear for everyone. And it has nothing to do with profit or loss, and that is not why I wrote it. I wrote it because, as I explained that, and if you need to understand the personal story behind why I was initially writing it or what event caused me to write it, then quite honestly I actually follow all the Lunk influencers on YouTube, because YouTube is something that I watch while working, So which is why I'm watching all these videos on YouTube, and I'm in touch with these YouTube influencers. It's because YouTube is running on my other tab while I'm working. So so this is mainly the reason. And so I used to communicate with almost all the Lunk influencers for the last more than 1.5 years almost, I think. So, and that is why I know DJ, I know Clay, I know Matt, and I know all of these guys. So when I saw Classy, DJ, and Matt, and all of these guys, Clay, complaining about the fact that we are not concentrating on this USTC Repeg so that we can get back to the level that we had initially achieved with the burns. So the burns was a very important aspect which initially got the community together. So this burn is something that I thought about and I wanted to work on, and which is why this algo. Okay, this algo is not a direct competitor to what DK had originally written, because I wanted to concentrate on the burn, because I was at that point of time following the influencers on YouTube who were talking about this burn and that we were not doing it properly and that we were not achieving, because the price of Lunk was anyway falling. So everybody was leaving. So I saw my favorite influencers essentially leaving the community, and that is why I began writing this, because I didn't want them to leave. Essentially, that is the main reason that I wrote this. Okay, that is the personal story behind it. Now, if you want to obviously talk about the technical aspect of it, obviously there is more, and I was thinking about this from a very long time and not when the influencers began leaving, because I was thinking about this from about 4 or 5 months before this, and to be really honest, like all my life probably, that I would probably end up writing something like this, because of a very simple reason, because this is not a problem which we are trying to solve either in crypto or in the financial world. This is a problem that we are trying to solve everywhere, that how do you stabilize investments, or how do you stabilize the price of a currency or a commodity or absolutely anything like a metal or food or grain, anything, absolutely anything that you can think of. The entire point of finance or studying finance is essentially to stabilize the prices of commodities and securities, obviously, because I'm not sure whether security is a form of commodity, because this is what I feel, that everything in the world is a commodity by its basic definition. Now, if you have a securities council in the particular country, then obviously you'll be, having a charter for securities, and which is why you would call it a security. But I'll just call it a commodity for now, because that's easier to understand anyway. So this is the main reason that I wrote this. It's because I wanted to stabilize the price of a currency. It is not about Terra, it is not about Luna, it is not about any specific cryptocurrency, because it is about anything. So this is an algo written to stabilize the price of anything, and which is why it is so versatile, because this is exactly the objective that I concentrated on, and which is why I wrote this. So let me, since you must have seen, like whoever is watching this video, I'm sure that's seen the previous 2 videos. So in the previous 2 videos, I've explained that that this is essentially protecting user investments. So when it does that, what it essentially doing is that it will always try to keep the price at this level, in the middle. So whatever the price is, say the price of Lunk is right now at 0.00006. So it will always try to achieve this 6 level, okay? And but the general way that the market moves is like this, like how a chart or a graph normally moves, and you would see it on a crypto chart. So we can't control that, okay? We can't control that at all. And so the assumption is that since it will anyway move plus minus whatever it does, okay, from the price that you have invested at initially, which is this price. So the assumption is always this, that to stabilize the price of this, I need to figure out a method in which I can do that. So what I have done with HODLR is that I have created a sort of a safety net over here in this price range. So what I do in this price range is that I trade in this price range so that I can keep the price in this price range. In a way, this is a stability algorithm, and it can be used to essentially stabilize any currency at any price point, which means that if you have, say, USTC at right now, I'm not sure what it is exactly right now, but let's just assume that 0.01. So if you want to keep USTC at 0.01, then you can essentially implement this algo to keep it at 0.01 plus minus say 5%. This is the maximum that will actually fluctuate because this algo has been written like that. And as I explained in the fourth video, I'm not sure which one. Yeah, fourth video most probably, that I keep it always within a range, and that range is the one which I configure for different currencies differently, which is why the current Git repo is configured for USDC and not LUNC. So I have to create a separate repo in which I configure it separately for LUNC. Now these are the currencies that I was generally observing when I was writing the algo. So which is why it works well for LUNC and USTC, because I know the configuration and how much it actually fluctuates, because I had been looking at the charts of that and writing this algo, which is why I know it. So the first question that is always coming up in this plan is essentially this, that why is it a stablecoin algo? It is a stablecoin algo because that is the primary objective of this algorithm. It has not been written to make profits at all. It has been written so that I can keep up the price of the investment at that particular price. Now whatever happens beyond it means that if, say, the price fluctuates from here to here, it goes from here to here, okay? At that point of time, whatever is the difference over here is the profit that you will be making. And say the price does not do like this, it moves down, it moves downwards like this. So whatever is the price difference between, so over here, so say it comes till here, so whatever price difference is between this and this is your profit. This is how I've created the algorithm. So if you want to imagine that you want to implement this algorithm for, say, a coin which is at this price point, say it is at 0.00006 like LUNC. Now if you implement this algorithm into the blockchain, what will happen is that it will always try to keep it at this range. Similarly, if you implement it for USTC at this price, it will always try to keep it at this range, which is why it is a stablecoin algo. So what I can do is that I can tell the system, or I can configure the system in such a way that it will continuously do this trading until the point of time it reaches, say, $1 or probably more than that. And until the point of time it does that, it will keep burning USTC. So whatever you put into it, say, now this I'm completely talking from the perspective of a blockchain, and I'm not talking from the perspective of a trading app. So right now whatever I am saying is from the perspective of understanding how this can work with a coin or a blockchain, and has nothing to do with how a user will trade using this algo. Because as I explained, like, this is a very versatile algorithm which can be used in multiple ways. So one of the uses of this is as a trading app, and the other use is what I'm talking about right now. This is the primary use of it, which is why I wrote it initially. It is so that I can stabilize the price of USDC. But what it eventually ended up becoming is a trading app, because I didn't have time to like implement this on a blockchain or even have the technical knowledge to do that, because since I explained last time that I am not a L1 dev, so I require a L1 dev to actually implement this on a blockchain, and I cannot do that by myself. So what I can do by myself is make a trading application on which users are trading using this algo. But I cannot use this algo on a blockchain directly because I don't know how to do that. So what I can do right now and what I'm applying for in 11859 is a trading application which I'll make first. And then what I'll do, like I explained in the last video, is the future enhancement, which is I'll connect it to a DEX, or I'll try to implement a DEX on Lunk, so that instead of using a CEX like Binance, you can use a system on Lunk which is doing it, like TerraSwap. TerraSwap is one of the DEXs that I actually left out last time in the last video, but this is something which is already available to us. And TerraSwap essentially does have options in which I can add liquidity over there. So I can create liquidity pools over there, and then I don't need to create the pool. The contract is already there. I just need to add liquidity over there, and then I use to swap between USTC and Lunk. But over here, what we require is not a swap between USTC and Lunk. What we require is a swap between USTC and USDT or USDC. Why? Because the algo has been written like that. The algo has not been written to make swaps between Lunk and USTC. Now I think it will be even clearer to whoever is watching this that why it is not written yet to be implemented on a blockchain, because that's not how I've configured it right now. Right now, how I've configured it is a swap between USTC and USDT or USDC. And the next phase of development that I've planned is configuring it, or rather improving this algorithm is the word, or rather the term that I've used in the prop itself. So that I want to continue development on it, and I want to improve it further. By in development terms, what that means is essentially that I have already completed the phase 1 of the development, and I want to begin with phase 2 of the development. The phase 2 of the development is a swap between Lunk and USTC, which is between a non-stable coin and a non-stable coin. Right now, how it works is a swap between a non-stable coin and a stable coin. So a non-stable coin in this case is USTC, which is right now, because it's at 0.01. So I have to consider it as a non-stable coin. And the stable coin in this case, which is at $1 right now, is USDT. So what I will do after this is essentially, I don't know whether you'll understand this, but I'll try to show it that you'll understand that what is the next phase of, because I think you would have understood the graph by now. So I'll just remove this. All we are doing is essentially stabilizing user investments. So this is also applicable for the rewards that validators are getting, because like I explained, that validators do not want to sell the rewards that they are getting immediately on the market and flood it. Because what is happening is that the rewards that they are getting is actually not part of the supply before they get it. But once they get it and they flood the market with it, it's increasing the supply. But they don't want to sell that. But they are having to sell that because the price is going to reduce if they don't sell that. But my algorithm can protect their investments. They cannot sell that Lunk at that point of time and keep it as an investment for say the next 1 year or say the next 10 years and then withdraw it, because at that point of time it will still be at the same price or above. That is how the algo works. Or you'll be in profits at that point of time or whatever it is, but you'll never be in losses, because 10 years is a long period of time for this algo at least to work. In the 10 days that I was working on in the last time that right now it is also working for approximately 3-4 days now. So it's working absolutely fine. I mean, it's just doing the same thing that I explained right now. So there is no difference between how it has been working or it is working right now. It's the same. So anyway, so the next phase of development is essentially a swap between LUNC and USDT, which is already happening, and a swap between USDT and USTC, which is already happening. So these two things are already happening in the system right now. So this is phase 1 that I've already completed. Now what I need to do in phase 2 is connect these two. So when you connect these two, what happens is that you are still doing this algo over here. You are still, I mean, the algo is still working on this pair over here, and the algo is still working on this pair over here, but there is an additional pair which is being created in the middle, and which essentially removes the concept of USDT at this point of time when you do that. So what happens is that then the algo can swap between LUNC and USTC and still maintain what it is actually doing, so it can stabilize this swap, which is the original OG algo written by DK. DK wrote the algo to do the swaps between LUNC and USTC, or rather the mint and the burn between LUNC and USTC. But I can approach it differently using a swap, because my algo already uses swaps to do this. And the phase 2 of the development would be this, that I would try to achieve what was originally happening. And if I can achieve that, then great, I will ask for the next phase of payment. If I cannot achieve that, then I won't. So this is how I'm planning to develop it further. But this should give you an idea about why it is a stability algorithm and why it is a USTC Repeg algorithm, because this will literally keep the price of USTC at 0.01 at this point of time. And then further, if you want to remove a 0 over here, then you can remove a 0 and it will still keep the price over here, because this is what the algo does, and which is why it was written. So I think this entire concept should be clear right now, that why is it a USTC Repeg algo, and that why have I originally written it, and why it is not a money making algo like how a lot of people in the community have been projecting it right now. It is not. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to stabilize your investments. And that investment could be any investment. It could be a collateral which is being given by a user or a trader. It could be the OP of the LUNC, the Oracle pool, from where the validators are getting the rewards. Currently, there is no mechanism to essentially increase those rewards or even refill it. So if the OP runs out, then validators won't get rewards anymore. So they don't have anything currently. So, but they're still not approving this prop, and I really don't know why. Because this prop is the method in which I can refill the OP. Because if I implement this algorithm on that OP, then it will keep, first of all, the OP it will try to keep the OP at the supply that it is there. And whenever it reduces, it will try to maintain that same level again. This is what it will try to do if we implement the algorithm on the OP currently. And the second thing that it will do is that it will refill it, because it makes profits. This algo does make profit, like I explained in the last video that how it does it. And and it's quite obvious, like I explained right now, that whenever it goes beyond this range of plus minus 5%, that is when it begins to make profits. So if it goes to say 10%, it will make you 5% extra profits. So that then gets deposited back into the OP, so that OP remains filled forever. This is an algo which can be implemented on the OP. This is an algo which can be implemented on the CP. This is an algo which can be implemented between LUNC and USTC to stabilize it. And this is an algo which can be implemented for traders directly who wish to trade in it and protect their investments, because that is the purpose. Because traders do know how to trade, but they don't know how to keep the investment at that level for generations. Not now. They want to keep it for their children. They want to keep the Bitcoin so that it doesn't fall in price. But they're sure about that for Bitcoin. But are they sure about that for LUNC? I wouldn't say yes. And are they sure about that for USTC? They are not sure. But if you can give them something that they're sure about, that this does do what it is supposed to do, then they're obviously gonna keep money in that. And this is how we are gonna get $60 billion, if you ask me. That how the hell are you gonna get $60 billion? This is how you get $60 billion. This is you offer people stability. You don't offer people profits. Profits is what like Ponzi schemes offer to people. We are not a Ponzi scheme. This is not a Ponzi scheme. So we offer stability to people. USTC offers stability to people. This is what Terra was supposed to be. Terra translates to the earth essentially. So they designed it in such a way that it means the earth and the moon, in which the earth is the stable asset and the moon is the non-stable asset. So in our case, the 22 stable coins are Terra, and the LUNC and Luna are essentially Luna. So this is how you can think about it. So we have a stability algo right now, and this is something that LUNC validators should understand, and why they should vote for this, because this is the possibility of a USTC Repeg, because this is the stability algorithm, and that is why I wrote it. It is not a money making algorithm, and I'm not sure why people are projecting it that way, or what personal purpose they have to project it that way so that this prop does not pass. But I'm not concerned about that. That is something which is for the community to decide. But there are a couple of more things that I wanted to say about this. So I have already mentioned this, but I did want to mention it again, that what does it actually stabilize? So does it stabilize only coins like LUNC, USTC, Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc., or does it stabilize everything? It actually stabilizes everything. This algo is so versatile that you can actually use it on stocks, you can use it on commodities, you can use it on the ETFs, you can use it on anything to stabilize the asset, because this is a stability algorithm. So say you have, generally what traders do is that they trade between gold and the US dollar, okay? So when you are trading between gold and US dollar, you would want to keep your investment stable for gold, because USD is already a stable asset. So this algorithm does exactly that. This algo can actually stabilize your asset in gold, which you have bought so with your hard-earned money for your children, for your grandchildren, that you want to keep for them. So this is exactly what Wall Street would want, and this is what they would want to stabilize their investments. Practically any stock brokerage company could buy this if I give it to them. But I need to improve it further so that I can sell it to them or whatever. I mean, so that they can come to Luna and buy LUNC and then invest over there. I mean, why would I even want them to buy my algo rather than help me improve it, or I don't know. The money aspect is a very different aspect that the community has been asking me for a very long time, that if this algo is so crazy and that it makes mad profits, then why don't you implement it for yourself? Because I'm not an investor and I'm just a developer. I'm not concerned with money as such, apart from what is required for my necessities. So this is the purpose of money for me, and I require money to improve my product. I don't require money to, I'll create a, I mean, if I do have so much money that I can make a new company for this, then that is exactly what I would do. I would create a new company, call it HODLR, and I will do the exact same work in that company with 50 other people. This is precisely what I would do with that money. If somebody gave me $100,000 right now or $1 million right now to implement this. But when a BlackRock or a Grayscale essentially tells me that, bro, I want to buy your algo, then that is not what they'll let me do. They'll literally buy the algo. So I won't sell it to them, obviously, and I will implement it on a blockchain, and especially a decentralized blockchain, so that it can be made available to other traders, and not only them. So this is another aspect of it that people need to understand, that why am I not putting in my own money, or why do I need to create this proposal if everything is so hunky-dory? But everything is not so hunky-dory, because I'm a developer. When I'm developing, there is more development to be done. I mean, like, even if I have completed like a year of development, there might be 10 years more of development left on something. That is possible. I mean, the product could be working just perfectly fine without even doing that. But if we do not do the 10 years of development, then you will not be able to get this $60 billion that we are targeting. So this is something that people need to understand, and I cannot explain this in any other way that I have explained it right now. That why we need to pass this algo. I mean, pass this proposal. So on the Lung governance right now, and especially within the next 48 hours. So that is that important, because this can potentially stabilize your stocks, your crypto, your commodities, anything, any product that you have that trades between a stable asset and a non-stable asset. It can stabilize it. This is a stability algorithm. That is why it is an algorithm. I mean, if you really have to ask me that what it is, I will still call it an algorithm, because of this reason, because this is what it can do and it is capable of. If you understand the capability of something and want to invest in it, then this is what it is. And I have already explained, as you can see, what the last question was, that why is it a Repeg algo? So I have already explained that why it is a Repeg algo, I think better than probably I have explained it in all my previous videos. So it is definitely a stability algorithm, and that is the primary objective of it. And whatever else it does, whether it makes profits or whether it makes losses, like I explained last time also, it does it as a side effect. It does not do it because that is the primary objective. It does it because it can. That is simply it. And it will make profits, because that's how I have designed it. So this is what it is, and this is why it is a USTC Repeg algo, and it can be implemented on the blockchain. And not only can it be implemented on this blockchain or some other blockchain, it can also be implemented for stocks, commodities, everything possibly that you can imagine in the planet that trades between a non-stable asset and a stable asset. So yeah, this is what it is about stability, and I'll probably tackle a few more points on the roadmap after this, but I think I'll explain the difficult explanation after this of the algorithm, which I haven't done yet. I've done the easy explanation yet, but I will explain the difficult explanation after this today maybe. I'll try my best. Thank you.